Good evening guys, it's 4:51 p.m. Today is April 26th. Today is Tuesday. I'm recording the video for Tuesday. So let's start with the pre-market notes, okay? So today is a Microsoft earning. So yes, sellers will have to keep it below 43.10, 43.13, 27 today conservatively. As long as price is below those levels, we will favor sellers 100%. However, today's buyers will have to keep it above 42.44, 42.60 super aggressively, right? I used word super aggressively. This idea is based on only yesterday's price action and bounce from 42.06. You can take some reaction along from this level if NQ is moving higher. This level means these two levels, okay? If NQ is moving higher and internals are supporting the idea. Today that was not the case, right? NQ was moving down, so there is no long from here in ES. Instead, if it breaks down, that means aggressive buyers are gone, right? That was the only line levels for buyers to defend. If they fail, that means sellers are controlled from yesterday morning, and day before. So after that point, wait for a pullback and short. Technically sellers are in control as long as price is below 43.87. See, so overall sellers are in control. That is what I'm trying to convey. With some caveat is right here at buyers level, which is this. If they hold it and then you see price going higher, then NQ, same thing. This area is like a buyer's line in sand from yesterday. If the price breaks below it, sellers will be there. Overall, sellers are still there below this area. As we discussed in the pre-market note, the conservative sellers defended this area in the overnight. Overall, sellers are in control, right? Russell, same thing. Sellers are in control, and most likely the target would be this area. Dow, sellers area is this. Below this, sellers are in control, right? Dream number 461, 522. So with that, see, 461, 522, opening move right before dream number, right? And this is the Globex low and the tank, right? So the problem was today, I didn't get any trade out of it today. I didn't even traded it after 10:30 or so. Actually 10:15 a.m. I stopped trading. Why? Because now it's hard for me to explain all these things, but based on we usually look for a pullback, at the levels, right? But opening 5 to 10 minutes today, considering yesterday's up move from 06, right? I wanted to see what ES does, bias does at 42.45 and 42.60 in ES, okay? And NQ, I didn't want to push the button until as long as price is holding above this, little buyers area, aggressive buyers area, right? So Globex low failed breakdown. For Globex low breakdown, we discussed that NQ sellers can defend, or sellers can break Globex low and price can go here, right? And then buyers may defend this area. If they're not, the more sellers will come. That is what we discussed in pre-market. Same thing for ES, 42.60, this area 45, buyers can defend. But so hold on, so here, right, this area, and if price goes below it, more sellers will come, right? Then we are just looking for a pullback to these levels and then we can short, right? But here you can see it, NQ just straight down, so we decided that of the open we will wait for 5 to 10 minutes. NQ being NQ, usually it does back and forth. That was the idea. So I waited 10 minutes, then I step aside 10 minutes after I came back, or 5-7 minutes, and price was already here, 356, straight downfall, right? So it was an open drive move right from this Globex low breakdown. So if you're watching this at that time, you can take this breakdown back to this level and you are out, and then you can wait for a pullback. And that damn pullback did not happen, because then I was thinking maybe this area can be pulled back. This area, blue lines are powerful, right? This could be pullbacks, but price just, so I did take this long at that time, because I was looking for a pullback back to at least this 400, 390 or so. But price did not even pull back there, so there was no short. So only option I had it was fade this area, blue lines, back to 356. That is what I did, right? Mini trade, 20 some points, right? And then I build out, because this area can now act as a resistance also, and then it did act as a resistance, but this was a mini pullback. I was not looking for this pullback. I was looking for little bit bigger pullback, little bit bigger, not like back to here, but at least somewhere here. Ideally here is preferable, but damn thing did not even pull back here. After this, it never pulled back to even this area. Then I was looking for this. It did not pull back. Then it sliced through this, right? And then I was thinking maybe now it will pull back, but it did not pull back. Then I was thinking, okay, somebody will buy it at this blue line, and then it will pull back at least up to this blue line, and then I will short. But that even did not happen, and then price just little pullback, and then slice through it. Then I gave up trading. At that point, NQ was already below yesterday's low, so up to below this, sellers were in control. So if you are like a trader, your style is, let's say, breakdown, below the levels, then you can short all these levels, break below, break below, break below, right? Go with the flow. I usually trade with the pullback idea. Only occasion when I trade breakdown trade is when there is a balance and breakdown. Then I may go for breakdown trade right there. Otherwise, trade fall down, I am not going to trade right here. Let's say short here with this breakdown. So that is my style. So based on that, NQ was already at yesterday's low or below it actually, right? Near this dream number dotted line. While ES was at way above yesterday's low was 95 right here, and ES was way above it. So both indexes were in complete divergence mode. NQ was tanking, ES was holding. At the same time, it was 10:15 a.m. right when I saw all these things. You can see this AD was trending higher. This guy was trending higher, right? So based on the internals, look at this was going higher, right? So based on internals, there was no short trade in ES that I can justify. And NQ just kept tanking, right? So there was a chance for a price to reverse hard actually to the upside. So, and as long as ES was holding above 44, I cannot be a bearish in NQ or neither in ES. And internals were opposite, right? So there was no trade up to this point in ES, ideally. But what we discussed in pre-market is, since sellers are overall in control, they can defend at any level. That is what I said, clear word, right? They can defend at 77, 71, 67, that is what we discussed in Discord. So if you want to go by that wording, right, you can take this breakdown with Globex low, and then target this area, similar to NQ, right? But I am not that kind of trader here, right of the open in today's context, right? So I was waiting for a pullback. So there is no trade here up to this 45, and internals were rising. So there is no trade, ideally, based on our methodology. Then by that time, NQ was already lower, right? So now if I look at it, it was a strong open drive, right? Price can continue falling down, but without pullback, it's hard for me to justify the risk, right? So that's why I didn't want to take a short anymore, because move already happened now, right? And you can see it. After that, price NQ pretty much entire day moved barely 100 point from this 216 to 116, 100 point only, and then it just did back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So if I would have traded here, most likely I would have lost money, or even out actually, because price did not give any directional trade here, right? So same thing with ES also, but ES was in better position at that point because NQ was balancing, ES continued to go down. So again they were in divergence mode, right? So I didn't want to trade these things. Once 44, this area is taken out, right here, there was a failed breakdown effort also here, see that? So now looking at, that was around what time? 10:10, and 10:10, if you look at here, internals were good, rising internals, they were not trending down, see that? So with this, someone would make an assumption it could be a failed breakdown, right? And price may go a little bit higher back to this pullback area, then I would short, because internals were trending higher, right? So there is no short here also, right, based on internals. Now price went higher, it's a failed breakdown idea probably. Then this bar happened. At this point you can short it, but by that time I was already done. I just left. I went to gardening, as usual, and I didn't want to trade it today, because looking at NQ, it can, some days are crazy. NQ can bounce hard from yesterday's low, and considering this, I was looking for a bigger pullback in NQ, at least up to this line. So with this, ES can just poke around here, and then bounce, right? Since it was close to this 45 and internals were higher. So after this bar, technically, or ideally, if you look at smaller time frame, you can even go short here. See, that's why it's a different arrow, but it comes with the risk always. And you are expecting NQ to tank below below yesterday's low, then you can take this trade. So, and then price tank further, right, straight into this 25 area. So now this potential is gone. Price already moved from 67 to 25. I do not want to trade without any proper pullback, and that damn pullback did not happen. So all mini pullbacks. And then price went all the way to 4200 bolt support, right, and then as usual it bounced from the support straight up into this 25 area, right. So if you shorted here at 25 and your stop is, let's say, 2-3 points, you would be stopped out already. See that? So the better location is this VWAP, which is you have to line up with NQ, which is this, close to this yesterday's low. Since it was broken and price went down way further and the pop back up first time, you have to put your stop here, right, above this yesterday's low, and you can take a short with ES and NQ together. By the time internals were already down, tanking down, right. So but I was in gardening, but this was the trade back to this low somewhere here, and you are out. Same thing with NQ, this first hour low, 161, you can bail out here, right. And then because it was coming up after breaking out this balance, right, so you can only take long short up to this point. Now long, there is no case for a long here because internals were liquidation kind, so you can't take a long here, so there is no trade after that. Once after this balance breakout, only way you can trade is NQ is ideally below this level, below this balance, or you can continue to defend this VWAPs. If you are VWAP based trader, you can continue to defend this VWAP. That's the only way. And then this VWAP held it actually, and this dip number also held it here. See that? First attempt, second attempt, third attempt, it held it, right? But we are not into business of shorting second, third attempt. First attempt is fine. Second, third is weak attempt. Then after that, during this end of the day, it broke down, right? Here you can take a trade right here at the breakdown level. But then the day's potential was only 66 up to 66.78, and price was already there here at 3 p.m. closing time 3:30. So you can trade this mini trade, and this effect was Microsoft earning effect, right? It was not foreseen. So really there was no trade here. ES, same thing. After this trade, you have to wait for a balance breakdown, right? With NQ, you can take this trade back to 78, this area, right? And it was bold support, price was already down, right? So you can take a profit here and consider this as a low of the day, unless, and then this is decided by Microsoft. If Microsoft earning came out good, then price may bounce back up here, right? But unfortunately Microsoft earning also came out bad, so it tanked, right? So really today there was no trade, ideally, so that we also, there is nothing else I can do today, so there is nothing, no trade today. Now some days are like that, so we'll see tomorrow what happens, right? Tomorrow's overnight, today's overnight price action. So overall we are going to favor sellers, that's for sure. Now we are going to favor sellers more than 100%, right? But now price is into very critical area that NQ, it broke down below, right? So pretty much NQ sellers now has a more responsibility to hold it below this area. That's it. As long as price is below this area in the next 2 days, right, you can continue to short with stop above this level, above these two levels, above this border, and you can continue to short. That much sellers are in power now, below this level. If price goes above this level, then we have to reconsider the short-term bias. ES, same thing. ES is not yet in a danger zone. ES is this level actually. This ES is in better position actually, and this ES has to stay below both levels ideally, for more sellers to come back to maybe, and then the price may tank to 3900 even, but if price goes above both level, then and NQ goes above this, then we have to reevaluate again, so we'll see how it goes going forward, and that'll be all for today.